Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another reading vlog. We are now into our Mafia Mayhem reading situation. We have two books that we are going to get into, and I know it's not my typical 3 or 4, but I figured, we'll go with 2 for now, and maybe I'll throw in a novella towards the end or in between each of these books. But I didn't know how I was going to feel about this. It's currently raining, so you might hear thunder. I don't know. You might. Anyway, so I have one book with me and the other one is upstairs, so I'll put it on the screen. But to kick it off, we are starting with Sinful Vow by Asia Monique. I've heard a lot of great things about this. I think that I am excited about it for a couple of reasons. A Black author yet again, and I have Black people in the Mafia. Now, I don't really know the ins and outs of Mafia business, but I would think it's similar, not identical, but similar to gang activity, dare I say. So I feel like if I can read books in urban fiction spaces where people are living a life of crime, I feel like I should be able to dabble into Mafia. And I wanted to touch on the Black author version of a Mafia series because I think Black authors need more praise. Sue me, but don't. This one is book 1 out of 6. 5 are available. I saw all 5 in paperback, if I'm not mistaken. They're on Kindle, if I'm not mistaken. And this is book 1. Now, I don't like reading the synopsis of a book because I feel like I want to be a little bit surprised. And if I am not intelligent enough to know what mafias consist of, maybe I shouldn't be reading it. But I'm expecting a life of crime in all areas. So I'm not really wanting to read the back of the book or any kind of anything else but the chapters. So this book does have a prologue and an epilogue. It has roughly 252 pages before you get to the epilogue. We do have a quote. Sometimes the bad can be good too. Our morals will be tested, I'm convinced. So I am going to read the prologue as well as chapter, oh, perfect. The prologue in chapter 1, and then I'll come back with my initial thoughts of the book because that gives me a little bit of something to report back. And that'll be at the 25-page mark anyway. That's what we have with the first one. The second one is another series, but I only have book 1s because I'm on a book buying ban that won't get lifted until I read 45 books. And the only way I can purchase a book is if I am buying a book within a series that I've already read one of the books for. I'm not doing any of that because I have a lot of books that I could be reading. Anyway, the next Mafia book that I have is by Celeste Granger. It better be on the screen. This is the Men of Mafia St. Clair series, and this is book 1, Respect. Now, I will say my gripe with the cover of this book, not to compare, but I'm about to. You see how you know exactly what the title of this book is? Sinful Vow. No question. Sinful Vow. You see how you know what the series title or series name is? Mafia Misfits. It's right here. Book 1. It's right here. Now, I don't know who we need to report to, but Miss Granger, when you put these words in yellowish gold, and yellowish orangish gold like this, I'm reading it like, oh, this is a Mafia Men of St. Clair series. Then I thought, okay, no, maybe it's Men of St. Clair, Respect Mafia, Men of St. Clair, book 1. How do you want us to read this on the front of this book? And it doesn't look the same as how it's written in the text on the site. So I just need it to be cohesive and consistent. And that's my gripe. with the book so far. I haven't opened that book yet, so I have nothing to report other than the fact that I know that there's a novella that came out before the series began to introduce the two characters that are in book one, but that novella is around Christmas time, and I felt like if you're gonna make it themed, I don't want to wait until Christmas to read it, but I also don't want to read it now because I know that it's around Christmas time. So I'm just gonna jump into book one, Thrill Seeker. Anyway, we're gonna start with Sinful Vow, and I will come back after I read chapter one, well, prologuing chapter one. I cannot wait until my bookshelf is back here and my art is on the wall. I actually have my art. I'll probably show you later on in this video, but my art pieces came in for the wall, but I have to get custom frames because of the aesthetic of the room. But anyway, I didn't show you the tabs that I'm using. I have some more tabs in the mail. They're on their way. And I forgot that I had these. Hope there's no glare, but I like these colors. I think I'm going to use the mustard color, maybe that maroon and the gray blue at the bottom. I don't know, we'll see, because the book is kind of, I don't have much to work with. We'll see. I should put my phone on the charger, but I don't feel like getting up again. So let's see where this takes us. Prologue, the delegation. Oh, we started serious. 5 family, Dmitry Ivanov? 6'10". Washington Bullets needs a team member. Okay. Mother is Russian. Father is black. Trying to get the lineage here. Never mind how I'm looking. I'm here with an update. Here are a few things that I have done since I got into the prologue in chapter 1. I got my pen out and I got an old budget sheet that I have here. And what I did was I had to take notes. I had to take notes because once you tell me that there are 5 families involved in this alliance, I need to make sure I know who is in which family and what each family does. Because if I'm going to be associating myself with the Mafia during this time, I need to fully immerse myself in what's happening so that I don't lose sight and track of what is going on. So here I do have the family breakdowns and the information that I need to not lose track of where I'm at in the book. But if you go on Asia Monique's website, I realized that she has Mafia family breakdown, who is married to who was divorced from whichever person, who is linked to whichever family. That's great. But for book 1, I need my own family tree. And I decided to just jot down the family names. For example, I have the O'Sullivan family, who we already got introduced to, who is black, because the whole thing that I've noticed is that there's at least one black parent for each of these people. They've been shunned by their other side of the family or something of the sort, and now they have created their own alliance outside of the true Mafia because they've been cast aside. Am I wrong? I don't know yet. But that's what I've gathered from the prologue in chapter 1. So we have the Ivanos family. We have the O'Sullivan family, the Yakuza Oyaban family. What is that? Three. We have the Bianchi family and Moretti. I'm pronouncing it the way that I believe it should be pronounced for the countries that they represent. So we have people that are of Russian and black descent, black and Irish descent. We have Asian and black descent. We have, what is he? Black and Italian. We don't have much information on them. Italian American? So maybe they're not black at all. Question mark. I'm not sure. Can't confirm on the last one. But we have smuggling, we have gun trade and drug trafficking, we have illegal gambling rings, we have legitimate casinos, but they're also loan sharks. We have a family that has someone who has a hit out on someone, and we also have possibly an arranged marriage happening. So those are my notes, and that was in 25 pages. So how am I gonna get through 252 pages if these are my notes on chapter 1? I'm still reading from my notes. So here's another thing that I have written down here. Mom's family is connected to the Jamaican gangs. Bullet. We have father had an affair with a black woman and he tried to end his daughter's life. We also have man that has Irish dad, married a black woman, has 4 sons. We have, what else do we have here? Someone is offering their son to another family within the alliance to make sure that they're still a part of the alliance because they've been like adopted into the Italian family, but the Italians don't really fool around with them because he's all the way black for real. It's a whole thing, and I'm into it. I'll do my next check-in at the 100-page mark. Hopefully I have a lot more to report, but that's where I am right now, and I will see you in the days to come. I already tried to film this, so let's try it again. Overdue for an update. I finished Sinful Vow. This is book 1 in the Mafia Misfits series, and I believe book 6 is already released or on its way to being released. I only own book 1. I will be getting the others after my book buying ban. We finished this one. Here are the tabs. There we go. So this series is off to a crazy start. We have plot twist galore. Not very confusing, but again, we're talking about the mafia, so we have a network of people going on. This is the alliance, the delegation. We have families working together, but still, you can't be a part of my business, obviously. But if you have a product or a business that can help my business flourish, we need to work together. So what's up? 2 families make an arrangement, they agree on it, they follow through with it, but what they don't know is other people were in on a plan to help get to that decision being made. Whoa. On top of that, plan within a plan, there was another plot twist. There was another twist going on with another family. It has a lot of moving parts. It's very entertaining, I will say. Now let's talk about the love interest. The 2 main characters, Enzo and Lucia, they come from 2 different families, obviously. I think that this gives off this Mr. and Mrs. Smith situation, not because they are needing therapy, which obviously you're living a life of crime. There's a lot to unpack there, but also because they understand the world in which the other person is in or from, and I think it makes it easier for them to get along. Now, if they find love in the midst of whatever both families are doing, I think that it's unexpected for some. They're in denial about it a little bit. They don't want to disrupt what the family business is. But if this is going to catapult our careers in a different way, while I end up falling in love, how bad could it really be? Now, I think Enzo, the male main character within this book, I think he has these beautiful moments where it's just like, you are a man of crime. And for you to be acting like this, I can see where people could forget. But then you do something that reminds us, you are a dangerous man. You're dangerous. But for you, follow me, for you to really want to take a woman on a date and she's not paying you any mind, she's not taking you seriously, like, please, you're that boy from that family. Anyway, you realize you have to have a conversation with this woman about some other things. And in the midst of you guys driving around, because you have to have a conversation about the business, you end up on an airstrip landing strip, tarmac for your plane. We need to have a conversation and it needs to be in private. So let's go ahead. This won't take long. Where are you taking me? Girl, just get on the plane. Okay, we get on the plane. Okay, where are we going? I told you I wanted to take you on a date. I told you I wanted to take you on a date. Okay, but I'm not dressed for a date. That's okay. That's okay. So when you get to your room, which is not my room, we're not sharing a room because out of respect, I'm going to put you in a different room where your dress is laid out, where your shoes are laid out. I guessed because I don't know you well enough, but I have a good eye, so I'm guessing that I got your size right. And when I come back to your room, you do not have your shoes on. So I will get on my knees and put the shoes on you. Greetings and salutations. I am here with an overdue update. You would think that I'm coming back telling you that I'm done with the book, but wow, it has been days on days on days, and I'm only at the 102 page mark. I don't know why it's taking me 40 days and 40 nights to get through this. Not very long. I think that I have been so excited about all of the books that I have at my fingertips that I accidentally, maybe intentionally, opened up a few books, read a few chapters, and now I have all of these incomplete reads. So I took a step back and I said, hey, let's reel it in. Let's reel it back in and finish what we started in order. We are back. Here's where we are so far. So far, we have the main character, Nicholas St. Clair. And I think I talked about this at the beginning of my reflections for this book. If I haven't, I'll repeat. We have too many names that are similar, okay? We have Nicholas St. Clair, and he has a love interest, Noelle. The end names are already throwing me for a loop-de-loop. The names either don't roll off the tongue smoothly while I'm reading, but because sometimes I do read aloud. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is we've got Nicholas, we have Noelle, and Nicholas has a bodyguard named Zeke Wilson. But Zeke Wilson let us know that Wilson Rivers owes us money. And it's like, when you're reading and you're just going through, you're thinking, why does the bodyguard owe Nicholas money? And then you keep reading and you're like, we gotta use first and last names if we're doing this, because now I'm getting confused and I'm only 2-3 chapters in and I'm wondering, who is Wilson if not Zeke Wilson, the bodyguard? Okay, you mean Wilson Rivers. There are other names. Google. We need new names. We need more names. We need extra names. It's just, we started off confused, okay? Then we realized this young man has a lot of siblings, and I made sure that I kept this page here, and here we are. Gideon is one of the brothers. Colton is another one. Ezekiel, like the bread, is another one. Very biblical. Rome and Xander. We have 6 brothers. And then we have Nikki. Nikki, we don't say that she is their blood sister, but she is of the family and they treat her like a sister, if I read that correctly. What we also have learned is that the men of St. Clair are businessmen through and through. They are creatures of habit. And by they, I mean Nicholas, because this is his story. So through Nicholas's eyes, we know that he gets up at 4 something in the morning, 4:30, to go for a jog. His security jogs with him, similar to the president. They call him the Don. I just cringe at that. I don't know why it gives me like a 60s, 70s Frank Lucas kind of vibe. And I feel like that's not the year that we're in to be calling somebody the Don. But anyway, that's where I am with that. The other thing, they have businesses. And I love that. I mean, granted, you're still a part of illegal activity, but it's the fact that you have a private casino. It is for the elite of the elite. It is for luxury. It is for invite only clientele. It is for the upper echelon. So we like that. We also have a company that is, what was that other one? Cigar bar, piano and cigar bar. We have that company going on. We also have Xander working on, is he the money man? I believe Xander is the one that works with the numbers, if I'm not mistaken. He does all of the proposals and demographics and the cost analysis. He does all of those things. And he looks to see how they can expand their companies and businesses and bring more money in, obviously. Then we have another company. Where is it? Come on, come on. Rome. Rome is the one into fashion, and he wants to make sure that Black models have a place where they have a community and they can branch out and venture into the fashion industry. So non-conventional male models. So Rome is working on that. There's a company for that, and I believe that's it. We also have the project that Nicholas is working on, which is the hotel or the resort. Is that what it is? The hotel? Again, I didn't read the novella, so I think it's a hotel because that's where they were stuck. I believe that's what it is. I'm going with that. So I'm going to check back in at the 200-page mark. And then the closer. I tried to make a cast iron skillet pizza tonight. And I will say this. I've had worse. Now, I tried somebody's white sauce recipe and I need to leave a bad review because it wasn't my favorite. Now, my crust on the cast iron skillet pizza was amazing. My toppings were wonderful, but that sauce was not saucy. It was not reminding me of Marco's Pizza white sauce. Anyway, I'm going to read a little bit more of this. I'm not going to tell you when because it's not going to be right now. I can tell you that. I don't know. I don't know where I am in my reading experience right now. I think I need to take a few days off after I finish this just to regroup because I have so many books I want to get through and I'm on my own time, so I don't know why I'm rushing, you know? Hello, I am back with an update. I finally finished it. It took me like two and a half weeks to finish this, and it's not long. Barely any tabs. These tabs were there for reading markers. 2.5. 2.5. I gave it 2.5 stars because I don't care. I didn't care enough about the characters. I didn't like the flow or lack thereof. It was not flowing from scene to scene. It was not flowing from person to person and their monologues. When we introduced new characters, they just started talking out of nowhere like, who is this? The ending was rushed, and what was the reason? Because no. I'm trying to understand where people got the 5 out of 5. I'm not seeing the 5 out of 5 and I'm very alarmed. I was at least thinking it would be like 3.5, 4 stars. No. I think around chapter 15 is where I thought we were getting somewhere. We were getting a little passion. We were getting angst. We were getting tension. We were getting some sort of emotion. Because before that, it just felt like, I really like him and I hope our time together wasn't just a one-off thing. Y'all barely spoke. It was like, how many chapters before he even sent a text or got a phone call? It was like a whole situation. You left from where he was in the prologue. Then we got more of him. And you guys didn't talk until like what, chapter 3? Chapter 4? I need to find another book for this video to recover, because this was not, I'm not continuing the series. And this is another thing. Buying books like in full collections and full series and you don't even like book 1 is really dangerous. So I do like the fact that I have the option to say, you know what, I have read something from this author. Maybe now is not the time. Maybe this is not the one, but I will not continue as of now. And this is that book for me. This book let me know that I don't need to pick up anything else from you at this present time. Now, I will say that people were disappointed because they were like, you're better than this in the reviews. They were like, you are not this person. You write better than this. What was this? People were saying that it was lazy on the ending. Ending for me was a bit scattered, somewhat on its way to chaos. I don't know what it was. It was just not, this was not intriguing. This was not it. I think that Nicholas could have been written a bit better. I think that, yes, I love the fact that he is someone who is a creature of habit and he enjoys his routine. I love the fact that he is more of a dapper Dan. He is dressed sharply most of the time. Anytime we see him, he's well dressed. His staff is respectable and they respect him. He is a giver of sorts. He is a businessman and a mogul. I think that Noelle, she is wanting a better family dynamic. And I think she loves the fact that his family is very close-knit and she enjoys that. I think it's very weird that Nikki is throwing her arms over Nicholas's family. Again, these names together make it even more confusing to talk to you about it. Picked up a novella to get me through this before I start my YA stack that I'm working on. So I picked up my Vegas Nights novella collection. This is 3 books in 1. So I'm going to read the first book and jump into my YA novels because I don't know. When you see this video, you're going to be like, how far apart were these books? Very, because I probably won't find another Mafia book until my book buying ban is over. So I have maybe 3 more books to read before that is over, because this was not the way to end it. So the people that gave it 5 stars, I can't trust you. It has been weeks. It has been weeks on weeks on weeks. But I have finally found and received the book that will close out my Mafia reading vlog, and it is In His Possession. This is the full title is In His Possession, Bought by a Black Mafia Prince, Black Mayhem Mafia Saga Book 1. I don't know why the title needed to be that long, but it is. So this is considered a dark romance. This will be the first one that I'm reading in the dark romance sub-genre. I do have another one, but this one is smaller. It's a little smaller and it's fitting for the video. So I am under the impression that all Mafia is dark romance, because what about the Mafia is not dark? Anyone? Anyone? I'm thinking all Mafia romance is dark romance, because what about the Mafia is not dark? If I'm wrong, let me know, but those are my thoughts. So I am going to stop all reading of other things now that I have this, and I'm going to jump into this. So this is going to be the book of the rest of the weekend, I guess. I have 20, how many chapters does this book even have? 24 chapters, less than 230 pages. Okay. Assad is the name of the male main character. I also want to say that this is the hardest working man in urban fiction book covers. I've seen this same exact picture on about 3 or 4 books. The man is set for life, because There has to be somebody. There has to be somebody else. You're the only one that can hold a cigar in your mouth. The way this picture floats around on book covers, I'm just wondering, who did he pay off? That man is working hard, okay? Kudos to you, Mr. Sir. I don't know. Okay, so it says, please note, this is a dark romance. The first 20,000 words describe things, okay? Because she's being held prisoner. Ooh, I'm already stressed out. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. I read chapter 1. And I need to understand if Malcolm needs to be studied. We know that Scarlett is the female main character. We know that eventually we're going to meet Assad, even though I quietly think we met him in passing. But Malcolm is the person that we meet in chapter 1. He is the person that kidnapped Scarlett from her ex-husband, who she wanted to get away from anyway. Now, kidnapping Scarlett somehow helps Malcolm save himself from whatever he got himself into. But what he does after that is where you're throwing me for a loop-de-loop, because you seem to have this obsession with Scarlett, which seems to be every man that she comes in contact with. But you have this obsession with Scarlett where you believe that you love her. You believe that you actually do love her. Now, I don't know much about algebra, but if you love her, does she have to be your prisoner? Does she have to be in captivity? Does she have to be in rooms with men that are scaring her? And when she's in these rooms and helping you seal these illegal deals or whatever it is you're doing, and these men in the rooms decide that they want to do what they want to do anyway, and she tells you about it, and you try and right that wrong, you make a statement like, did I tell you that that's okay to do? And the guy's like, oh, no, but I thought she was just playing hard to get. So, Malcolm, you mean to tell me if you told her to go in that room and was like, yeah, go all the way, it would have been okay? That's not love. That is crazy. So we are dark. I have more questions, so I have to keep reading because I want to know, what did Robert do that was so bad that we need to get away from him? Because if Malcolm is doing all this and we don't even like Malcolm because he's 15 years older than her, she's not attracted to this man, and this man always wants her, even after this person thought no meant yes, and he still wanted to be with her after that. Give her a night off, please. Please. All of that was in chapter 1, and it wasn't even that many pages. It was the fact that I really had to dissect that, because Malcolm, where are your parents? Who raised you? Because this is a little bit ridiculous. And Scarlett, I need to know how this ended up being the only option. We couldn't call any other body. There was no other lifeline. I need to know more. I need to know more. And I better know by chapter 3, because I need answers, okay? Let me turn this down. We need to talk. It has been days since we've spoken. I wanted to really get this book completed by yesterday, but I was in my planner, editing, posting, you know, that kind of thing. So today's my day to finish it, and I'm on chapter 19. So I have, where are we? I have this much left. I didn't get to unpack with you after the 100-page mark because to me, I really needed to get to the meat and potatoes. This is what was happening with my thoughts. Scarlett is the female main character. She has been through everything but peace. She has been tested. Her relationships have gone from bad to worse. And what do the kids say? Worse, sir. It is a mess for her. She was grieving so bad in her younger years, and the people that should have rallied around her to help just be her blanket of peace and love and care and compassion, they were the very people that made it worse. Mainly because they were grieving themselves. And instead of seeking help elsewhere, they just made her childhood turn into something very dark. And so she found comfort, I'm air quoting without moving my hands, she found comfort in men and just living off the land in a way. And then when she found Robert, or Robert found her, that relationship got even darker than the grief that she was sitting in. And when that relationship turned into something sick and twisted because now his arch nemesis is involved, it's getting really weird. It's getting very odd, and it's getting very bizarre. Like the arch nemesis, the rivalry between Malcolm and Robert. Robert is her ex-husband or ex-fiance, and Malcolm was the person that captured her. And the fact that they are dangling her like a piece of meat in front of an animal, it is very bizarre. Something's not right with those two. Something's not right. And I thought that, okay, we have Assad. Assad is the person on the front of the book. I'm under the impression that's who this is. Assad comes around and I'm thinking, this is a man with some sense. I mean, yeah, he's in the business of mafia business, but of all the men we've encountered in this story, he is the one that got the most sense. I thought, okay, well, obviously his child has moved away with the mother of the child because it's safer. I knew that. I figured that out. But I'm wondering, well, why is the mother of the child upset with him? Is it because he won't leave the life? Is that it? Could that be? But no, you did a bad thing. Okay, Assad, you were being ridiculous. And everyone was just kind of like, no, it's okay. Yeah, you made a mistake. Yeah, you did something wrong, but that's only because you weren't ready for that. What? So hurt the woman he claimed to like a lot instead of just doing the right thing? Fake it till you make it is what Assad was doing for however long with Jessica. And then Jessica is so torn and confused in her own feelings that she doesn't know if she can fully let him go. She doesn't want to. She wants him to fight for her. And he's like, girl, I tried and you told me to leave you alone. So here she is moving on with her life, but when he starts moving on with his life, she's mad about it. I know why you're mad about it. You want him to feel the hurt and pain that you felt when he hurt you. He doesn't feel that. He feels it in a different way, and you don't like how he is feeling it. So you're upset about that. But ma'am, you got your own things going on. Anyway, so Scarlett and Assad, he is trying to protect her and everything. And I'm not giving you any spoilers, and I'm keeping it very broad, but they're both in denial. Oh, this is only for protection. Y'all are in love, okay? You guys, you two are over there faking it. Oh yeah, this is only for protection, but I'm kissing on her temple, I'm kissing on her cheek, I'm rubbing on her arm. Oh yeah, this is only for protection. He cares about me. Ma'am, he asked you, what do you want? What do you need? He is not a butler. He is a man with millions of dollars. He will run out a restaurant just to take somebody on a date. Okay? Okay? This is a man, he's got businesses. He is not playing with you. He really likes you, but he knows that he needs to give you your freedom because you've been cooped up under Robert. You were cooped up under Malcolm. You've been slapped up around and all over the place. You have been abused, okay? So he is just trying to let you fly free, Go be Miss Independent. But no, you quietly want to be captured by him. I think that this book should have happened before that other book in this video. That other book, not my cup of tea. It's for someone, but it's not for me. And I'm enjoying this. Now, I saw the cover of book 2. I don't want that. I don't want that. I love a good collection. I love a good series. But that cover, if that cover is not changing, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to continue. What? Anyway, I'm going to keep reading. I'll let you know when I only have a chapter left, and then we'll oh, it's an epilogue. Oh, I like epilogues, but then I'm like, I'm done with the book. Like, do I need more? We'll see. More to come on that. I will say, I do enjoy the fact that they both had their own habits or vices, and instead of just saying, like, it is what it is, like, I drink to mask my pain, they were both like, okay, we need to find healthier habits. We need to find better ways to channel this emotion that we have. And I like that they work together on that. And I find that to be very healthy in a way. But I feel like together they have been finding ways to be better. And maybe he wasn't getting that in his previous relationship, where he felt like he could not only be himself, but his partner at the time was not finding ways to make him want to be a better man. And not to say he was a bad man before, but yeah, you're great at being in the mafia, but can you be a better human outside of the work that you do, even though we know that that's, you know, dark and dangerous. I don't know what's with him and Versace, but okay. Ooh, he what? The cars and the homes? Robert, we need to be serious. We need to be honest about how we got where we're at. We need to start being honest. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? I thought you wanted this too. Sir, she wants to go. Let me get this straight. I am Scarlett. I have been through everything. And you are trying to win me back, get me back in your good graces. And when you maybe have a chance, you got me out here cooking dinner. The things Scarlett has been through, the last thing she should be doing is getting in that kitchen. What are we talking about? A big enough meal. Scarlett, get out of that kitchen. I know why you're there. You know, we're creating this environment and we are starting anew. But we need to start a new thing out the kitchen, because I feel like we're falling into old habits. I know where this is going. I know where this is headed. I know exactly where this is headed. But it's the fact that we got her in the kitchen. Okay, I'm gonna get back to it. Be love with the jokes. Have a fro bob. Like, what is happening? Long in the back, short on the sides. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I just finished it. It is time to wrap it up. So, in his possession, this book, I want to thank you, Beloved, for making this video complete. I thought we were ending on a very confusing note in this video, but thank you for tying up those loose ends. I want to say that there were a few moments in the book where I thought, Is somebody else in the room with us, or is the wording a bit odd? Are you trying to trick me right now? Because wildly unnecessary if that was the case. Because it happened at a couple of points in the book, and then somewhat towards the end, I felt like, why are you toying with me? Why are you toying with my emotions? But we made it out of the darkness that was this book. It started off very dark. I felt hopeless in the beginning. I didn't know where we were going to go and if we were ever going to get anywhere that was lighter than where we were. I wasn't sure. I couldn't call it. I was just in it for however long it was going to be. And that was 200 plus pages. So with that, I am not in complete shambles as I was at the start of this. So that makes me feel a lot better. Scarlett was definitely living in the valley of despair. She owned properties. She was a real estate developer in that valley of despair. And the revenge of it all wasn't on the scale that I thought it would be for a mafia of this kind. I thought that it would be a little bit more something. And I think for that reason, I can't give it a 5-star. And on top of the fact that it was a little slow in the beginning, dark, very dark, but somewhat slow for me in the beginning. So that's why this can't be a 5-star read for me. There was growth in the end. There was a foundation that was built. Even though darkness was there, it became hopeful. The foundation that was being built between the two love interests became hopeful. It didn't feel as if there was a time, well, I guess you have to read it. Enjoyed the communication that Assad had with Scarlett when it came to what he hoped for her, and knowing that he was mature enough to understand that the things that she's wanting to do is not time for that, because she's in a different headspace and he's been on the outside world. And when I say outside, I mean he had a lot more freedom than she did for a good chunk of time. So he was imprisoned in his own way. Wow. He was imprisoned in his own way because he is now leading the charge of his family and all the power that they have. And it is kind of holding him hostage in a way, because he doesn't want it to fall by the wayside. And he doesn't want to just give up that status without knowing that whoever is next in line is going to take care of it like he took care of it. So I think he's imprisoned in that way, whereas Scarlett was imprisoned by those that she thought loved her or showed her love in a more dangerous and outrageous way. We also have to keep in mind that this is a mafia romance, so we're not all going to be at the end. Everyone's not going to make it to the last page, so we need to just be ready for that. This is a different kind of mafia book, so we have to just say, look, action, angst, romance, couple of funnies in there. The love is there, the family dynamics are there, and all of that. This is darker. This is darker. Mafia is dark, but this is darker. This is a different kind of mafia romance. We're focused on the female main character coming out of something that has been very low. She is not on the same level as the male main character. Whereas in Sinful Vow, it's almost as if Enzo has found his match. He has found someone that he is equally yoked from the beginning. This is his right hand, him in female form. That's who he has found. Whereas Assad has found someone who fits him like a glove in the way that he can be affectionate, he can be a better provider and a better man emotionally, and he wants to come home and be safe for his family, even though, yes, he has a daughter, yes, but he moved her away for that. And I think that Scarlett has heightened his desire to be a family man, and Enzo and Lucia are over here like, let's burn the city down together. So I think we can't really gauge it on the same Mafia standards because they're two different books in that way. And we're not, anyway, here are the 3 that were in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found a new series to indulge in. There will be more. I have a list. I have a table full of books. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.